Friends, today we have such a story in our box. Any person will tell you this. How big a responsibility is his harvest, and after all, he needs it for his crop. Why does he risk his life? The story begins with a man named Ilias, the old man on Georgia's side. A small country was formed. Now it belongs to Kajiaware. But there is a very small population. That is why people live in there. Something like this for everyday expenses. There are dependents on the island who are black, are made from sea in the month of spring when, if it had not rained, the river water would have dried up, and the soil comes up due to which, get ready to become an island every little distance. Goes and calls these small islands. Ilias calls his boat an island, brings there, and the soil of that place. Who looks at it to grow crops? She looks very good, that's why she decided. He decides to grow crops here until spring doesn't end these 3 months. It will also grow here after selling it, and it's cold. Now you must be thinking that we will spend it comfortably. Why take so much risk if it is better than this? Friends, if he had cultivated his own land. In fact, the time is now going on where Russia wants to capture this small country. But Georgia won't let him do it. That's why there are days between them. There is war going on, and there is so much land on someone. It is not possible for him to cultivate it now. The war has destroyed something, that's why. The villagers have found a new way. But when will it rain here? Their entire crop will be ruined. Even if they don't know, then Ilias is on that island. But he erects a pillar, and on it he wears a white cloth. Perhaps this is proof that this island now belongs to someone else and someone else. Don't come here the next day when he returns, taking with you some wood and some tools. Now it comes until the crop grows. He is going to stay here till. First of all, this land is enough to build a house. It is wet, so there is no need to dig here. You won't have to face much trouble. He starts work, but now he is getting older, so he is moving faster. Just can't complete the work in one day. Now he can stand only 4 pillars when he lies down to rest. There was a joy inside him because now he will be able to survive the cold comfortably by growing at this place. By selling the crop and thinking this, there is a hope awakens. Well, today has passed. Goes and again, he returns to his village, which is situated deep inside the forest but the soldiers don't bother them the next day. When he is coming, we are one with him. Let's also see a girl whose name is Miriam. She is Elias' granddaughter, and we find out that Mary's parents died years later. That's why it happened first, apart from his grandfather. He has no one in this world, and today she has come here to lend a hand. She is a calm-natured girl because she has till now he has not seen anything which his grandfather told her. That's all she knows now. In the morning, the first thing they did after coming was to fish. Let's set a web for our food, and then they start their work with Miriam. She helps as much as she can hear, but she also brought her doll, which was her mother's. The last sign is when in the afternoon, when she was sitting, some soldiers would pass by. Seeing whom he met his grandfather, asks if he is a soldier from Georgia. So he answers yes. Now Mary's. It comes to mind that maybe he is on their land, is farming, but his grandfather tells that their land is at that place. The place where we stand now is actually above. The one who owns the land has created this land. A few days ago, he made this land, and after a few days, he will take back his land. He understands. That's why he nods. Now she answers yes to Grandpa. After all, what to talk about? That's why whenever if you feel bored, then you are with your doll, starts playing or goes to the riverbank. Ilias sits there and works all day long. He was tired doing so he lay down there, goes and starts to rest, and Mary too. She lies down there and looks towards the sky. You start to see that the sun is about to set. Not much work has been done even today, but now they are hungry. That's why Ilias burns the wood and then traps it. He caught fishes. He cook and eat the same fishes. After eating, both fill their stomachs and then go back home because right now here, the roof is not fit for habitation. Next morning he come back again. Now Ilias was sure that today's work will be completed, and then that will start farming slowly every day. Time seems to pass just like Elias thought. It happened that today that hut was ready, and now he just has to dig this place. But today, it will not be possible because the whole day was spent in this. That's why Meanwhile, Miriam starts eating, sees that some Georgian soldiers again are passing by, and their eyes are on the same. Mary is also looking at them when he didn't look away until she left. After they leave, she goes inside and she starts looking at herself carefully. I couldn't understand why that soldier loved him so much. Why were we watching Ilya's carefully today? Also see, and also talk more than Miriam. I don't know what it is that ate him. Is going. And she is a little worried about the same thing. The day passes with worry. He returns after locking the hut, and tomorrow. Maybe he will start living here, but today he will have to go. It is night now, and Mary is in her village the next morning. His grandfather then brings him though. And she doesn't work much here, but Ilyas is worried about him being alone in the village. What will I do? So she takes him with her. He comes here with me every day, now on the second day. Come, and with all your hard work that dig the ground, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of hard work, and you can get relief from here. He would go to his hut too, and try to sleep for a while. But then he heard some gunshots. Comes from the other side where Georgian soldiers have captured 2-3. You can also hear people screaming. That's why Ilyas goes out and looks, and then there was no one there. Here we can see that. Work finished early today, so he went home. Go away and see Mary again the next day. Let's bring them together and share them with you today. Seeds have to be sown in the fields, which Mary also does. His grandfather has been taking those seeds from the soil. Just as we are covering it, the sky starts thundering. What Ilyas feared happened, but he had faith in God that he would. Heavy rains will not spoil the crop. Both of them go and sit in the same hut. Let's go and wait for the rain to stop. But Elias sees that tied up outside. His boat is going up and down. If it gets revealed, then it will be in trouble for them, and that's why both of them went out and buried him in the ground. Let's bring it up so that it doesn't flow further. But in no time they get wet. So Ilyas lights the fire and both of them. It seems like the rain stops after some time. And the weather had also cleared, due to which Ilyas gets some relief, but it is on the edge. But he sees that the water from there is flowing towards the island, moving up and sinking the island just like that. It will seem that their crop will be damaged. That is why both of them go to the forest, and from there they bring wood and put it in a place. Build a small dam and divert that water. The land prevents Ilyas from coming up. His hope was so much that his hope will not let anything flow easily for him. Will do otherwise both of them will starve in a few days. Will die. This is a time where the poor. Now there is no hearing anywhere. The work of sowing the seeds is done. Now just waiting. By the time the crop had grown, then survive by eating fish, and spend my days there on the island itself. It seems like after a few days, Ilyas thought. That's how it happens. The crop fails, and this much better than he expected. That's why he corrects it very gently and goes to sleep. Now that very night, he hears some movement, but he is outside. Would not come because he knew very well that maybe there are some soldiers around, but actually, we see some soldiers who are on the same island. He would have killed a deer while walking on and drag him away, and when you put it on your board the next morning, when Elias wakes up, he sees that aside. He understands that someone has trampled his crop, that this must be the work of some animal. That's why he has to keep watch at night from today onwards. Here Miriam thinks about going home and doing something else. Brings goods in which they're gold. There are also beds and some utensils in which, so that he can eat food, so that he can stay there properly. Now one day, when it is over the crop, some soldiers were pouring water there, who pass by and see Mary again. And this time his grandfather was there. All these things were enough for Mary. She doesn't stop here, but the next day when she was washing clothes, something came from the other side. Soldiers ask his name and start teasing him. When Ilyas does it, he takes his gun, comes out so that he can go away from there. But all these things are now true for Ilyas. It didn't seem like he knew that Mary was afraid. She is growing up, so one night she tells you not to be like me. I would rather you graduate. We have to become a capable person and help our villagers. Has to do something for her grandfather. This is a matter of biggest concern because tell them that studying in such an environment, how difficult it is to do. But they have to take care of their granddaughter. But I am sure Miriam will also answer yes. After which they stay in the same hut. Fall asleep in the morning when Mary collects wood. While she is doing this, her eyes fall on one thing. She falls and loudly tells her grandfather. If she calls out, they come there and see a wounded Russian soldier in the middle of his field. Lying there, they get scared that when they came to know about this, we will kill them. Only then there will be a boot from there. Passes in which some Georgian soldiers were. They ask Ilyas if you have seen someone running away from here. He refuses to lie to her, because if he finds out, it will be very bad for him. After that he took the injured soldier to the hut. come and leave Mary standing outside, they say. But he secretly watches them. Elias cleans his wound and gives him water to drink when he comes out. He tells him, you go home and buy a chicken. Bring it. She goes away after some time. When Ilias returns with the things, sends him back, and then that soldier served him soup. But he was still conscious. He did not come after a few days, and then one day that soldier gets up and goes out. He goes and sees that Ilias is there with his boat, is correcting it coming out. Seeing this, he sends him inside because it would be difficult if someone saw him outside. He heats the water for her, and one day he goes and gives it to Mary. Some goods come there from the village. She also helps her grandfather by taking. It was during this time that he met for the first time while picking up wood. She looks straight at the soldier sitting outside, was cutting wood, and here he too looks at Mary walking behind the hut. Goes, and we see her for the first time in this story. Let's see it all with a smile. Was it something new, or were we just fools? Can name anything, and went around it. If grandfather was not there, then he would have wanted to talk to him. Tries and says that now Mary should rest on her side. There was attraction, but he called me a soldier. That he doesn't understand her language. Then Mary threw a bucket of water on him. It was probably a gesture from her to express how happy he is with her arrival. The soldiers are after him to catch him. Both of them run away and start playing in the river. Now Miriam was happy on her face. But then this happiness turns into despair when his grandfather sees him and seeing the act being done and going absolutely crazy. How do you go with a stranger? She could be so frank had we known her. It is not even there. He tells her all this at home. Let's leave now, let's come back ourselves. The day when both of them are doing their work like this. If the soldier hears the sound of a boat, is heard when Ilias sees it. It belonged to a Georgian soldier, and it came towards him. Seeing this, the soldier jumped into the water, goes and hides on Commander Island. Come and tell Ilias that Why are you so scared after seeing us, he says. I thought an enemy had come. The commander smiles and says, okay. Get us something to drink, he goes in. So the commander also followed him inside. I don't know if he sees her in the hut. He was suspicious of Ilias while doing such investigation. Seeing this, Ilias asks, why are you? What are you looking for here? We have lost a Russian dog. We are looking for him, and if we find him, then he will not be saved. He should go away saying this. But even while leaving, he told Commander Ilias, I was just looking at him after he left. The soldier is asked to come, and he asks for water. Ilias starts trembling due to this reason. Let's light a fire and let him sit there, they say, but those soldiers are very. Ilias was scared the next day when he comes back with it, he sees that the gate is open, and there are soldiers somewhere nearby. Is not visible, they understand that he has run away from here. That's why the next day. He also brings Mary with him, but some Russian friends come there after a day to find, but he refuses, and tell them what you are looking for. Yes, I did not see him, that Russian soldier. Mary has changed a lot since she left. She had gone, and was very happy with her arrival. But we see that by remembering him, she is crying a lot and doesn't understand. How did he get so attached to that person? Was it right for him or wrong for him? So I don't even know that perhaps this is foolishness. It is said that the crop is now ripe for harvesting. Ilias started the work, but what? When he looks at the water, it was flowing fast, a sign of trouble. Yes, it speeds up the harvest, but only a little. After a while, the situation would get worse, so much so that now the soil of that place is slowly. She starts slipping on her grandfather like this. Seeing that they are in trouble, Mary helps them. Comes to do. But now the situation is very. Ilias has been spoiled as much as he has been cut. The crop was there. He started putting them on the board. Gives, but it is very less. It has been picked. Nothing has been harvested yet, and he doesn't believe in this thing. Now the water starts drowning that salmon. So he puts Mary on the board. And he starts crying holding that hut himself. He didn't expect it so soon. Tries a lot, but friend's nature. That hut doesn't move faster than anyone else. She gets swept away in the water. But with Mary, she also drowns her grandfather. And on seeing the harvest that Ilias achieved with his sweat, he was watered and went underwater in a moment. This is the life of a farmer. I put my blood and sweat on a few yards of land. Zupa. Ujavu share in self-inflicted death. One luck happens every hour in our country. The farmer dies, and last year, 11,000 farmers died, and this figure is rising the years keep on increasing. Someone is right. That is, when a plate of food comes in front of you. Thanks to God as well as the farmer. Please pay. This story ends with this. Peace goes. See you in the next video. Out.